3, 2.
Welcome, sports fans, to the Shoot Your Thought podcast with your hosts, Josh Sanger and Neil Rampersad.
Hello and welcome to the Shoot Your Thought podcast. Neil, how are you?
Oh, we good. We out here.
We got
55?
fans back. 55? 56.
56.
56. Wow, it's been a week here, folks. We got a lot to catch up on here. There's a lot of information we're going to pack into this episode. But let's get started with the news that's basically on everyone's mind right now. And that's how the Russian invasion of Ukraine is affecting the world of sports. So obviously every Ukrainian, every Russian athlete are all being put under the microscope right now. And specifically being interviewed and cornered almost with questions about what are their thoughts on what's happening in the world right now. Reporters love to do that. They love to put athletes in the spotlight and basically, like I said, just corner them in front of the mic and ask them these questions. But before we talk about it, I want to play for you what Ovechkin said, what his stance was on this specifically.
It's a hard situation. I have lots of friends in Russia and Ukraine, and it's hard to see the war. I hope soon it's going to be over and there's going to be peace in the whole world. I'm Russian, right? Sometimes something I can control. It's not in my hands. How I said, I hope it's gonna end soon and it's gonna be peace in both countries, and I don't control this one.
Now, a lot of people are giving him heat for that. A lot of people are going after him for this stance on not condemning what's happening in Ukraine and not condemning his country, his home country, his president. But you got to think, Putin knows who Alexander Ovechkin is personally. They've met. He knows Ovechkin's family.
Yeah, we're supporters of each other.
Exactly. Ovechkin's whole family is in Russia. All of his money is tied up in Russia. If he were to say something, off the cuff about, how he doesn't support Putin or for whatever reason, that's his livelihood. He could very well have put his family in danger if he says something wrong. So you could almost see him sweating in this interview. And you never really see hockey players take a firm stance on anything, for that matter, when it comes to literally any social injustice. That you'll never see hockey players take a stance, whether or not it affects them or not. But this, you have to look past what he's actually saying here. You have to actually, take into context the whole situation here.
Yeah, this is obviously when you think of the NHL and you consider what's going on in the world. Spotlight points to Alex Ovechkin.
Mm-hmm.
He's the biggest Russian player, maybe of all time, in the NHL, and he's still actively playing, and he's still a big icon when it comes to the hockey world. And you just nailed it. He's in a tough spot. His entire family lives in Russia. He does have ties to Putin. He has come out and said no more war. I think everyone is up in arms because he's not doing more, because of his influence, because of his relationship with, or his connection with Putin. And I don't know, if his family's in danger, if he says the wrong thing, then that's understandable. Mm-hmm. But with a person as much influence as he has, he could be doing more.
He could be, but like I said, he's worried for his family's sake. You're talking about Vladimir Putin, who...
It's like the Panarin situation, right?
Exactly. Exactly. They literally they tried to ruin his reputation because he took a stance against his own government.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But also, yeah, like you're talking about Vladimir Putin, a man who wins every election by 107% of the vote because they accidentally put in too many votes, too many fake votes for him to win. So he wins by 107% of the vote.
Seems fishy.
Everyone that opposes
Seems
Putin,
like that's a lot.
everyone a little bit.
If my math is correct.
I think it's above the average for sure. But everyone that runs against him mysteriously dies of food poisoning. So, yeah, this is not a free country, Russia. So, and for Ovechkin to have all of his family and his money tied up over there, like he's fearing for his family's well-being and his own well-being. So, I understand it. Obviously, it's a tough situation because of course, we would all like him to take a better stance on it, but you have to understand why he's kind of staying neutral here.
Yeah, he's keeping away from the media on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's speaking here and there, but his dedication right now is in hockey. He's trying not to, you know, pick a side right now because his life his life and his family's life depends on it.
Yeah, exactly. We are seeing other sanctions towards Russia in terms of the sports world, like FIFA suspended them, so they won't be participating in the World Cup in November. The IIHF has suspended them, so we won't be seeing any sort of Russian international team in the foreseeable future. We're also not going to see Russian club teams playing, so there are significant sanctions on Russia in the sports world for sure.
Yeah, CCM has even come out and said they're not going to be using Russian players in their global marketing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a massive company. CCM is massive worldwide. You know, one of the biggest hockey companies out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, you're already seeing the trickle down effect. Dominic Hasek has come out this week. Dominic Hasek, the 57.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him.
The
I didn't hear it.
57-year-old Hall of Fame goalie.
Yes.
He's come out and said that the NHL should suspend all Russian players without pay.
He's Russian, isn't he?
He's from the Czech.
He's always from China.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's come out and said that the NHL should just suspend and send home all of their
He
players.
said suspend NHL players.
Yes.
Oh,
That's what he said.
Okay. I like him. I mean, Gretzky came out and said that he called on the IOC and the IIHF to suspend Russian teams and the Russian national team itself. But to take it one step further and suspend the players, I think that would send a hell of a message. But knowing Gary Bettman and the pussy that he is, I don't think he's gonna do anything like that. Should we move on?
Yeah.
We'll keep close tabs on the situation going forward. But for now, Toronto has fans back, Neil. We've got fans
Full capacity.
back in the building.
Full capacity.
Oh man, and we heard it last night. Oh baby, if you watched that Raptors game, it was a hell of a game. It was back and forth. I think there was like 20 different lead changes the whole game. And B, it was fun as hell to see the sixth man as the crowd reacting to every single thing. Like every single dunk just hits so much differently now that you've got an entire full capacity crowd cheering on every single dunk. It felt good. That game felt good to watch.
It's almost like normal again.
Yeah.
Here in Toronto.
Yeah, we are back to normal. Not 100%, but
yeah, vaccine mandates are no longer a thing. Full capacity. It's so good to see, especially going into this time of the year where the Maple Leafs and the Raptors are in playoff positions.
they're in the final stretch. Yeah.
Could you imagine playoff games with no fans in the stands?
I don't. We've seen it. We saw it in the bubble, right?
Yeah, but this is a bubble. I mean, you have the screens up for every team. It's
Yeah.
not like the advantage here I'm talking about is in other arenas across the states. Fans are like full capacity fans.
Yeah, they never really
Right,
did the
there's-
50% thing,
No,
unless it's
there's-
like Miami, which
You
fans
don't have
go to
that
those games
added
anyways.
sixth person on the floor like the fans
Mhm.
give the Raptors a boost. So It's nice to have the fans back.
And it's nice to see the fans giving Goran Dragic a nice, warm welcome back to Toronto after saying for so long that he has higher ambitions than Toronto, refusing to come and play in games and staying in Miami. Just the warm welcome of him coming back to just non-stop boos every time he touched the ball was great. Every time he missed a shot, the fans would get up and start cheering. It was great. At one point, he was making a couple shots in a row, and he did put his finger to his lips kind of to shush the crowd. But after that, he didn't have a run after that. But
I mean, an epic tribute video for him.
Oh my God, if we haven't put this up on our social yet, we got to.
Epic tribute video.
It was.
He
so
was
good.
booed every single time he touched the ball. He was booed when he shot free throws. He was booed when he entered the game. When he missed shots, they cheered.
Yeah.
When he missed free throws, they cheered.
Did you see those 2 free throws in a row that he missed, and the crowd just went insane?
Yeah, it was incredible. And this was a great game. After the Raptors blew out Brooklyn in Brooklyn,
Yeah,
the very next night,
You knew Brooklyn was going to come out.
they came back. They played strong, considering that they still had no Kyrie because Kyrie can't come to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
He's unvaxxed. But this was a Raptors team who has been resilient, man. Like, they've now beat Brooklyn twice. I don't know how they're going to fare when the Big Three actually plays, but that's to be seen at a future date. But for this 2-night span, the Raptors are superior.
Absolutely.
And fuck Goran Dragic.
100%. I still keep thinking about the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs and how Kyrie won't be able to play home games. I can't even.
Imagine if they like face off against Brooklyn in the first
Yeah.
round. The Raptors and
You'll have no Kyrie the entire series.
New York's starting to ease up on mandates now, so he's going to be able to play.
Yeah, no, there's some back and forth going on there, and the New York mayor has come out and said specifically if we were to get rid of mandates for specifically one person, it would look really bad. So they're going back and forth.
Is it just for one person?
I mean, that's what the conversation is around, I think,
Just for Kyrie?
as far as I
You know how
know.
large the city of New York is?
Yeah,
I think they're just doing it for one
It's
person.
like the poor man's Toronto kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
But if they don't use up on these mandates before the playoffs, yeah, I don't know.
Well, speaking of mandates and speaking of full capacity, it's going to be fucking great when we see when it happens, if it happens, when we see a full capacity Rogers Center for the boys in blue.
I was wondering where you're going with that transition there.
Because almost all of last season we saw empty stadiums, them playing in 3 different home settings.
Yeah.
Just having them home and having the boys in blue. If you don't know who I'm talking about the Blue Jays. Just having them, at Rogers Center and amongst a raucous 50,000 sold out fan base just in Rogers Center. I don't know if we're going to see that happen. It's been confirmed that the first 2 series of the season at least are canceled. They're not going to make those games up. Like, it's already going to be a shortened season.
It's a shortened season, yeah. I saw something on Twitter the other day where Vladdy and Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette have both played for the Toronto Blue Jays this will be their 4th season. And they will not have played a full season yet in Toronto because this is, again, going to be a shortened season. Every season so far has been...
In 4 seasons.
Yeah, in 4 seasons. It's been a shortened season, and they haven't played it in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, crazy. But yeah.
Both of these sides have had 3 months. That's at least 90 days to get a deal done. Between the owners and the players, they can't agree on a new CBA.
We haven't even seen free agency. Like, there's been nothing. If this deal ever happens, whenever it does happen, hopefully it does, But if it does happen, we're going to see free agent frenzy within like the first few hours.
Yeah. The earliest the season can start now is April 8th. So I mean, Manfred has said that he'll continue canceling games if they can't get a deal done, but they're not even close. Like they're so far apart in their negotiations right now.
I know.
So I don't know. Manfred's getting ripped by all of these different players. Rizzo
Or Man Clown as Stroman.
Marcus Stroman has been very vocal.
Manfred gotta go was the official tweet.
Yeah, Manfred gotta go.
Yeah.
Over 80K in likes.
We've seen players come out. Specifically, Ross Stripling has come out and said that the latest offer to the Players Association was just laughable. Was nowhere near what they wanted. This is a league it's one of the most poorly run leagues.
It is the most poorly run leagues.
Yeah, I've ever seen. They do not value their players at all.
The BBL league is fucking flourishing.
Yeah, I mean
the BBL, the busty badminton. I don't know. Just go with it.
all right, I was gonna let you have that one. I was just gonna move on, but
Big time badminton league.
you threw in the towel on that one pretty quickly.
You tried busty badminton?
We got some busty badminton up in here. Oh man. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I think is Manfred gonna resign?
No, I don't think he would be this deep into this with his stance if he had any intention to up and leave. Like I think he's here to stay. I think he's gonna continue being the most hated person in all of sports.
You saw the picture of him obviously laughing. The video of him laughing.
I don't understand.
Like why are you so happy?
The tweets that are coming out of the MLB are just so. Ian Happ, who plays for the Chicago Cubs, he just came out and he said he's like, I'm considering becoming a barista. Because he's not gonna have a job this year. By the way, they're not getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
So all these players, all of their contracts are just null and void if there's no baseball season. And guys like who just recently signed a contract, like Max Scherzer, going to be losing up to like $200K a day.
Mm-hmm.
A day. If there's no season.
His contract was also ridiculous.
Garrett Cole, yeah. Same with Garrett Cole, man. Like up to $200,000 a day. But fuck Garrett Cole.
The fact that they were going to be making that much a day.
Joey Gallo came out and posted a snapshot of him on LinkedIn saying, "I'm new here."
I'm new here. I did see that actually. I think we're going to see a lot of players playing golf in the near future. I really hope we do see baseball this season. I was really looking forward to the free agency this season because the Jays were obviously going to make some moves. We saw a little bit of it with, obviously some of the Jays that were there last season not coming back and, signing elsewhere. But before we could see the Jays making any moves, we got the lockout, right? So I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens here. I'm not excited for the lockout, but I'm excited for when this deal eventually gets made and we do see that free agency.
We have, we're going to switch over to NBA talk now. I know we just talked a little bit about Goran Dragic.
Mm-hmm.
I know we just spoke a little bit about Goran Dragic.
Yep.
But before we actually dive deep into the NBA, I just want to talk about one team in particular. A team that has been in everyone's discussions, any talk show that you listen to.
You can't get away from them. You really can't.
No, the Showtime, not so much Los Angeles Lakers. They just continue to find ways to lose and continue to find ways to suck and to,
Because they dealt their entire depth, Neil. They don't have any bench. They don't have anyone besides LeBron, Russell Westbrook, and Anthony Davis. And when Anthony Davis is out, they don't have anyone else. Carmelo Anthony?
DeAndre Jordan.
They waived him to sign DJ Augustine.
He lasted 2 games, I think.
Yeah, Dwight Howard was good maybe 10 years ago. DeAndre Jordan is in more TV shows now than he is NBA games.
They have nobody. LeBron isn't that good anymore. LeBron was left in the game.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. He's still the greatest of all time.
He's stat padding every game. They're down by 30 points in the fourth quarter. And why is LeBron in the game? Not yesterday's game, but the previous game. Why is he in the game when they're down 30?
Are they down 30 in the third or in the fourth?
Fourth.
Okay, well that's different. But he's still the greatest of all time.
Getting easy buckets. He's chasing Chamberlain's record. I understand that. But what is this team trying to accomplish this season? Are they trying to
They're trying to
break a record?
stay relevant. They're trying to stay in the playoff hunt, and it's slipping away from them. I don't know. I don't know what this Lakers team does. I don't know if Anthony Davis comes back before the playoffs.
The future just looks awful for this team. Like there's no way out for them. There's 7 games out of 500. Under 500, sorry. They're so far out of a playoff spot.
They're in the play-in tournament spot right now, I think. But they're slipping day by day. And because this makes me very happy, the Lakers doing so poorly. I do love LeBron, don't get me wrong, I do love LeBron. But them doing so poorly makes me happy because you saw in the offseason, you saw all these older players signing with the Lakers because they all wanted a championship ring. You saw Carmelo Anthony, DeAndre Jordan. They got rid of some players that wanted to stay, like Caruso, who was actually a viable option. But you saw all these older players sign with the Lakers because they're all like, I want a ring. Let's go get a ring. Let's go get a ring. And it's not that easy. You can't just sign all of these former good players and bring them all together and have one big happy family and just run through the league and win a championship. It's not that easy. So them doing as poorly as they are right now makes me very happy.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to, even if they do the play-in tomorrow, the season ended tomorrow, and they had the play-in tournament, they would play New Orleans, and I don't think they would beat New Orleans.
I don't think they would either.
I don't also think that LeBron is planning on sticking around. And the reason I say that is because why would he sign an extension with this team? You know, the salary cap next season is supposed to be $121 million. That's what it's projected to be. The combined salaries of LeBron, Westbrook, and Davis, their big three, is projected to be around 130. So $9 million over what the salary cap will be with just 3 players.
I think LeBron stays. I think obviously Westbrook goes.
Westbrook's owed $47 million next season.
That's disgusting. Disgusting. He's not staying with this team. I can't believe they kept him before the trade deadline. I can't believe Russell Westbrook is still a Laker. I don't know why they ever thought this experiment of
LeBron's 37. You know, this aging old team, like, I don't know how you're going to do it.
LeBron stays. I do think he stays. I think when he does retire, he's going to stay for a while. He's going to stay until Bronny Jr. comes in. That's what I think. He said it so often. Even if he has to come off the bench, I think he's going to stay in this league. But he's not slowing down. That's the thing. Like LeBron is not slowing down. Obviously, we've all seen the videos of his poor defense and him just giving up on the ball. Rob Perez actually tweeted out a video of him mid-game last night just giving up, just like not fighting for any rebounds. He doesn't get a call his way and he just stands there. And meanwhile, the whole game's going on around him. And there's rebounds to be fought for. And he's standing in the way of these rebounds. And he just stands there.
He wasn't standing there because he wasn't getting calls. He was standing there because he wasn't getting the ball thrown to him.
Well, that too.
Do you not see that? Like, he's calling for the ball in the deep post and not getting it.
Maybe we saw different videos, but there was one of him literally standing in the paint. And the ball goes up, hits the rim, and comes down, and he just stands there. He doesn't put his arm up at all. And we've seen the videos of him, not playing back on defense, him, not getting a call his way, or him not getting the ball, and he just gives up and stays in the front court, and then the defense comes back. Like, it's I don't know.
I know he wants to play with Bronny.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Lakers team's going to be overhauled in the summer. If he does get traded, can you see him going back to Cleveland?
Yes, I can.
What would Cleveland have to give up for him?
All of their young players.
All of their young
Not
players.
all of them, but Cleveland's a very young team. That's why they're doing so well. Is that they're so fast and they're so energetic and they're so young. And no one thought Cleveland was going to do well this season, but here they are. But no, I think that they have to give up a lot of their prospects. I think they have to give up a lot of their young talent, and I think that's what the Lakers need. And I think that's so. If the Lakers haven't realized that what they need is not these old farts coming in and playing 9-10 minutes a game, I think they have to realize now that they need younger, more energetic guys.
I think LeBron would ruin what the Cavs team have going on right now.
I think so too.
He would completely ruin it.
Which is why I don't think he's going to go this offseason. I think he's going to go in the future, but not this offseason.
LeBron has this penchant to, want to have his hands in the front office and be involved with any deal that they make.
Mm-hmm.
Any deal.
Mm-hmm.
Every franchise that he's done this with, he's done that. Cleveland, Miami, LA. Like, he's been involved in decision making in teams like this. Further, LeBron's going to want to play at least 30 minutes a game. He's going to want to run ISO plays every game.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to want the offense to run through him. Takes away from guys like Garland, from Sexton, from Mobley, Kevin Love to an extent. Like, these are their core players, like, that they want to build around. And LeBron will just completely demolish that chemistry and that dynamic that they have going on.
Absolutely.
That he did in LA.
You would 100% throw a wrench into there. But yeah, no, I think LeBron stays. I think Westbrook goes. That's my.
They can trade that $47 million contract. They're going to have to take a lot of money back and give up some draft picks.
Yep.
So, I mean, good luck to them.
We'll see. Should we move on to some NFL?
Maybe the Raptors will make a call.
I wouldn't mind that. I don't think they will, but I wouldn't mind that.
I don't think they can afford that.
NFL time. Some news and notes coming out of the league. Probably the most prominent notes, the most prominent newsworthy item here. Is Brady going to come back? Is Brady going to return?
I don't know. Speculation is astounding. Like, he retired, and literally weeks later, we're hearing that he can unretire. Like, he's going to say retired for 2 weeks? Doesn't make any sense. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when asked if they potentially will welcome back Brady if he unretires, they said that they're going to leave the light on for him, as if he's coming home late.
I think any team is going to leave the light on for a Tom Brady return.
He's not even good. Like, he's 47 years old, and has he won anything?
Are you doing a bit here?
Has he ever won anything?
I don't think so. I don't think he's done anything noteworthy in his career.
He could be like an offensive coach,
Yeah, maybe like a tight end come in for a couple plays.
an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Bruce Arians has said that he will not accommodate a trade if Tom Brady asks for one, and when he inevitably unretires. I think that's smart. What I don't understand is Tom Brady signed an extra year onto his deal. He signed an extension to help the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with their salary cap issues. He went out of his way to tack on an extra year onto his contract. That would give Tampa Bay extra flexibility to sign guys. And now Tom Brady would be a free agent this season if he didn't do that. Now he's retired. And now Bruce Arians is saying that he won't do the same thing for Tom Brady if he chooses to unretire. So Tom Brady accommodates the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but now Bruce Arians refuses to accommodate Tom Brady.
Do you think that relationship was becoming strained, like everyone says it was, between Bruce Arians and Tom Brady?
I think yes. I think Tom Brady is a larger-than-life figure at this stage of his career. That's why he left New England, and now Bruce Arians, you've seen him hit players on his sidelines. You've seen him boot players out of the game if they're not going in the game and when they're injured.
You've seen players take off all their equipment and run off the field. Yeah.
Saying fuck Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians, it's his way or no way. At the end of the day, that's how he is. That's the way he is. And Tom Brady might have we're not hearing it publicly, but the two sides might have clashed and forced Tom into retirement.
I think that has to be part of what happened here. But do you think Brady's actually going to come back? Because I don't think there's a chance that he comes back. I seriously don't.
Well, maybe he'll come back next year.
Yeah, I think he takes this season to not play and to see how it is. And knowing, I mean, we've all heard like Gronkowski come out and talk about it, but knowing the competitor that Brady is, I think if he sits out a season, he'll be itching to get back to it.
There's reports about Gronkowski that he's working out twice a week at Buck's facility. He's still unsigned. There are talks that he could potentially retire as well. He could even end up in a place like Green Bay to play with Aaron Rodgers.
I think the only reason Gronk was good this season was because he was playing with Brady. I think they have like that wavelength between the two of them.
That's the only reason he came out of retirement.
Exactly.
And another reason, is that the New England Patriots traded him as per his request when he came out of retirement to Tom Brady's team. So I don't know, man. There's a mutual understanding that you have to have when you come out of retirement, and for Bruce Arians to just come out already and say, I want 5 first rounders for Tom Brady, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, things have to be put in place for someone to come out of retirement. They have to be set up perfectly for that person to come out of retirement comfortably.
Yeah.
And that's not the case here. So no, I don't think he comes out of retirement. But we did see that the Dolphins plan to go after Brady and Sean Payton going forward. The Dolphins franchise, man, there's so much going on with them specifically. There's so many rumors that have pretty much ruined their energy. They're you know what I'm trying to get at here? Does Tua want to be a quarterback for a franchise that doesn't want him to be the quarterback?
Tua needs to develop, and he's not going to get any opportunity to do so in Miami.
No.
He probably would have benefited by a year off, similar to a full year off, similar to Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, and even Trey Lance, and what we're gonna see is a very talented, hyped first round draft pick by the Miami Dolphins turn into, you're gonna hate me for this, but a Daniel Jones. Someone who is very highly touted coming out of college.
I don't hate that at all. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback.
You're going to see someone who is who's very skilled and highly touted come out of college and just do absolutely nothing. Sam Darnold is one of them. Josh Rosen is one of them. Daniel Jones is one of them.
Baker Mayfield is one of them.
Baker has shown flashes, but he is one of them. And this is what I mean, right? If you're not being put into a good situation where you're challenged to be developed, when you're challenged to be a leader in the clubhouse, when you're challenged to be the team, the captain, and you're not that, then you just kind of suck. You don't develop and you don't make it in the NFL.
Because Tua, I think he's a good quarterback. I really do. I've seen him have flashes, much like Baker Mayfield does.
Yeah.
So I do think he obviously hasn't played in the playoffs like Baker Mayfield has, but I think he's a decent quarterback. But yeah, I think this NFL draft this year is going to be interesting to watch and see what teams actually do and see if there's any trades in terms of picks before the NFL draft actually happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams looking for quarterbacks this offseason. A lot of teams.
100%.
Whether your quarterback is retired whether your quarterback sucks.
That's what I was going to say.
All of these different things.
Should we move on to my running back for my New York Giants, Saquon Barkley? He's been in the news quite a bit recently because, we have a whole new front office in New York. And they came in and basically said, we're going to listen to offers on every single player. And that includes our franchise running back, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has been so injury prone throughout his career so far. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the offensive line in New York sucks because they can't protect him. But also, at some point you got to say, all right, do we pump the brakes on this guy? Do we switch it up a little bit? Do we see what other options are out there? I don't think this is our GM saying that we're done with Saquon Barkley. I just think he's saying everyone's got to earn their place on this team, which I respect and I appreciate.
Yeah, your GM has said that he's open to trading Saquon. It's just I don't see him being traded.
No, I don't either.
I don't think why would they trade him?
No.
You know how hard it is to find a top running back in the draft?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you trade him?
I don't think he gets traded.
You need to build around him.
Exactly. This is just him saying, like I just said, no, every player needs to earn their place on this team. Like going into training camp, going into the preseason, every player needs to earn their spot.
I just don't understand, with this team, how they're projected to be $11 million over the cap.
Fucking Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. I don't understand how that can be possible when the team is so bad. Who are they paying?
Kenny Galladay.
How much are they paying Kenny Galladay?
So much more than every other player.
Just
Saquon Barkley is getting paid in completely Bitcoin. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
His entire contract is in Bitcoin. But the
Yeah.
Giants...
You're going to be good. You just need to... Kadarius Toney is a stud.
He is.
He is going to be terrific.
He is an eyebrowless stud.
Is he eyebrowless?
Look at pictures of him. He's a scary looking dude. But he's an amazing wide receiver.
Yeah.
And that was only his first season. But also the New York Giants have 2 first-round picks in the top 10 for this draft. They have a potential to shake things up. They've already said that they're sticking with Daniel Jones, which whatever.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the cap complications that they have, I don't think that Saquon will be traded, but he could be a victim of that. He could be a result of that team needing to shed salary, and he could just be the person that they decide to trade because of it. The fact of the matter is, they got to try and find a way to shed some salaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you can part ways with Kenny Galladay. I think his value is at an all-time low right now. So I don't know.
Well, they just released Mason Rudolph or what's his name?
Kyle
Rudolph.
Yeah.
I hope the Steelers release Mason Rudolph.
Mm.
Jesus fuck, he's so bad. Worst quarterback in the league.
Well, I mean, do you think the Steelers are gonna go after a quarterback in this draft?
I don't know what they're. Steelers are never one to talk about what their plans are openly.
Yeah.
There's been talks that they could potentially trade for a guy like Garoppolo, but I think the more natural thing for them to do is go out in the draft and select a quarterback and develop.
I think so too.
But I think with the way that this defense, here's the reason why I think the Steelers will make a trade is because their defense is the top defense in the league. They have one of the best running backs in the league. And their wide receiver core is phenomenal. The only missing piece they have is their offensive line and their quarterback.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of rumors surrounding Juju Smith-Schuster. I believe he's a free agent right now, right?
Yep.
So do you think he comes back and plays for the Steelers?
He wants to. He wants to come back and play for less money, even.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
There's front office is open to a return. Juju wants to return, so I think that deal will get done. I just don't think they need to overpay Kenny Galladay money to get this guy.
Yeah.
But he could also sign with a team like Dallas or any other team. You know, like it just Juju's a great wide receiver. He's still young. He's only like 24 years old.
Yeah, he's
still.
super young. I just think he has a lot of he has a lot of bad press. Let's say.
Yeah.
He does a lot of off the field stuff that certain teams might not appreciate as much. But speaking of Jimmy Garoppolo, he is having shoulder surgery. Say that 10 times fast. But do you think he comes back and is the starting quarterback for the 49ers next season?
No.
They've come out and said that
He's for sure getting traded this month.
I'm pretty sure I've seen the
There's
49ers come out
100%
and say that they're sticking with Garoppolo. I think that might be just to drive his value up a little bit because you've got a potential franchise quarterback in Trey Lance just sitting in the wing ready to go.
So I'm reading here now. Pro Football Network is saying that the Steelers are targeting 3 free agent quarterbacks.
Who are they?
Teddy Bridgewater, Mitch Trubisky, and Jameis Winston.
I mean, pick your poison.
I think Jameis would be fucking great in this system.
Teddy Bridgewater is the best quarterback out of those 3, though.
No, he's not.
I think so.
I don't think he's better than Jameis.
I
Teddy Bridgewater is a boring ass game manager.
He's more
even
stable.
I would take Mitch even.
You would take Mitchell Trubisky over Teddy Bridgewater.
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Such a shit disturber. I don't.
Teddy Bridgewater is not good. Like he is horrible.
I think he's pretty good. He's good for fantasy. He's he knows how to manage the clock. He knows how to.
He's awful.
If he stays healthy, he's a good quarterback.
Teddy Bridgewater is not even a top 20 quarterback. He didn't even make it through the season as a starter
Because he was injured for a lot of the time. He was very injured this season, and he is very injury prone. But I do think Teddy Bridgewater is a better quarterback than Mitchell Trubisky. Much like every other quarterback.
You lie.
I'm not.
You're lying.
I think
You're just trying to get a rouse out of me.
I am picking Teddy Bridgewater over any other quarterback in this coming draft for sure.
Oh my
I
god.
think I definitely am.
Is he a better quarterback than Daniel Jones?
No. But honestly, I think I would take Teddy Bridgewater over Daniel Jones right now just to shake things up. I think.
I don't know.
Daniel Jones is not gonna make us the playoffs. He's not gonna win us a Super Bowl. Daniel Jones will never make the Super Bowl, no matter what team he's playing for.
I don't know. Like Daniel Jones, he'd be a great backup.
Yeah,
On any team.
which he should be.
He'd be a great backup. I think he's overpaid right now. I think he's in the same what we just said about Tua, right? Like he hasn't really been given a chance to develop. And I don't know. I think he'd benefit sitting behind a guy that's like what Mitch Trubisky just did with Josh Allen. I think Mitch is going to come out really good next year. Like what Jameis did with Drew Brees. We didn't get a chance to see him really take off last year, but we might in Pittsburgh next year.
So you think Jameis Winston is going to be a Pittsburgh
He was
Steeler?
linked to the Steelers before he signed with the Saints, so there's a potential of that happening.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be. I think I'm really excited for this NFL draft, mostly because the Giants have 2 picks in the top 10. So I'm very excited. It's going to be fun to watch. Anyways, that is the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening, and have a good week. Enjoy the games with the full capacity crowds in the stands.
We're back. Have a good week, guys.
44 minutes.